Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales of Three, your favorite queer D&D-based podcast. My name is Dusty. My pronouns are they, she, and I play Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfey, whose pronouns are she, her, and Véres is just taking a little nappy nap. Just a little nappy nap, a little sleep.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariana. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Elara Spinelspark, whose pronouns are also she, her. And what the fuck? I just want them back together. Stop it.
Never. This is their life now.
This is it.
Constantly running in opposite directions.
Yeah, sorry. They're like two ships passing in the night. Hello, everyone. My name is Wayra. My pronouns are she, they, and I play Véres, whose pronouns are he, they. And he's taking a little nap. He's just a little guy. Just needs a little grass now.
Just a little guy.
He needed to touch some grass.
He did what I need to do and go touch some grass.
Same.
Obsessed. Journey to a realm of nerdy and dirty fantasy, voiced by your favorite audiobook narrators. Punch and Roll for Initiative is a D&D podcast made up of audiobook narrators and taking place in an original world created by the cast. In the wake of Planar War, our cast of heroes strive to make a name for themselves as a growing threat from the world below looms. Find Punch and Roll for Initiative on Spotify and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Catch the stream every other Friday on YouTube, follow on social media, and join the Well Divers today.
A note regarding content warnings. This campaign is a dark fantasy that deals consistently with topics of body horror, complicated relationship dynamics, emotional distress, fantasy violence, gore, mechanized spiders, mental health and illness, profanity, and romantic and sexual relationships. A full list of episode-specific content warnings can always be found in the show notes of each episode. Last time, our trio fought and crawled and ran in an attempt to find one another again. Véres escaped a dead ash and gray forest where they met a handsome stranger, had a chat with a tree who knew his true identity and tried to convince him to snuff out the life within, with them only escaping when a massive hand conjured by a hag who was watching Véres literally threw him to safety. Elara and Ivy navigated a mushroom field, where Elara picked up some curious-looking gems, and they ran through a forest that literally ran with them. Véres found a path and signposts that pointed him to Fellismore, while the girls snuck away from some Seelie guards. With both groups seemingly traveling closer together, Véres finally made it to the Seelie forest, where he found Elara's You Were Here rock, and then collapsed in exhaustion while the girls traveled in the opposite direction. We pick up now with Véres asleep in the color-changing grass.
But you are now sleeping. By force.
Aww. Had to happen sometime.
But then you open your eyes to a blinding white space that expands in every direction without an end. And there you are, suspended in this featureless place, unsure what direction is up and what is down, until your feet touch a surface. You stand there for a moment, looking around for any other features, but there is nothing. So you do what you did, and you walk, looking around for clues until you bump right into something, or someone. You turn and look, and sure enough, there is the back of a person. You reach out to them, and when your hand connects, you feel something warm and wet. You wrench your hand away, and it comes back red. Blood, you realize. Quickly, the person turns to you and grabs your arm, holding in a vice-like grip as the world tilts. You're looking up at a man now. He still has a grip on you, though you're much thinner now. Tan skin replacing the gray of this form. Adrenaline rushes through you as your heart pounds in your ears and panic fills your body. You see the glint of a blade, but it's too late. You can't get away as it's thrust into the side of your abdomen. The dagger in your own trembling hand was frozen and held mid-lunge by the much larger man's hand, and you stagger. You trip and fall to your back, and the man falls after. He falls on top of you, on top of the dagger in your hand. You see his face, the blood that spills from his mouth, eyes wide as he realizes what's happened. They lose focus slowly, those brown eyes. Light fades as the blood from his pierced throat spills down your blade onto your hands and all over you. Your first kill. an accident. If you hadn't been caught looking for documents, you wouldn't have had to try and protect yourself. He wouldn't have come after you. Your first big failure and first kill in one night. And you were only 8 years old. You pull yourself out from under the slowly cooling corpse, holding your side as you sit. You remember feeling numb, like you weren't really in your body, just a witness. You couldn't think clearly. As you turn to leave, the scene around you changes and you're in a forest. You're taller now. The gray complexion you've grown used to has returned, only you're still covered in that warm red liquid. You look for a source and see on the forest floor 2 corpses laying still, eyes still open, both bearing the ghost of fear and betrayal in their expressions. Ivy and Elara. You were supposed to find them, to help them, to make sure they were safe. Your stomach churns. You feel the guilt and horror take root. No, you wouldn't hurt them. You cared about them, despite yourself. You were doing so well since you left. This couldn't be real. It wasn't supposed to be like this. What have you done? With a start, you feel a firm hand on your shoulder. You turn to see the familiar face of Aurelius, looking on at the scene by your side, his golden eyes narrowed. I warned you this would happen. Did I not? You're always so quick to anger, so quick to resort to violence and killing. He turns to face you now, looking up at you for once, hand reaching up to cup your cheek. As his thumb wipes the blood away, he continues. Are you not tired, darling? You fight desperately against your nature, but it will always catch up to you. He lowers his hand, taking with it warmth and comfort. You are a weapon, Carolyn, one I am destined to wield. He takes a step back to block the view of your 2 dead friends, and the audience will see the faces of Elara and Ivy glitch and shift into different features, much like the creature Véres first met in the woods. Aurelius looks at you, Véres, extending a hand. Enough of these games. It is time to come home. And then you wake up. And as you gasp awake, we're going to pan away from this moment.
Elara and Ivy have also been walking in the darkness for hours and hours. It feels like days. Both of them are physically in pain at this point, I think. Mentally exhausted, physically and emotionally exhausted. Can I get constitution checks from everybody?
17.
I think everybody's able to kind of shake off the tiredness. At some point in the walking, Elara and Ivy have been walking through a forest for quite some time. You both realize pretty simultaneously that as you're walking, looking down, you step and you watch the grass fade from that green, pink, purple, blue, back to green. Ivy, this is familiar to you. This is a familiar area around Fellismore that the grass does these colors specifically. I think Elara stops because this is also familiar to her because she was here, I don't know, whenever she was here, however many days ago. And I think she rubs her eye. So does this happen a lot in the Fae, the grass changing colors like this?
I think she looks at it for a long fucking moment. And then she goes, fuck.
Why?
Nope.
No.
Nope, we are back near the fucking castle. And she rubs her forehead and she is mad. Mad. That stupid fucking forest must have turned us around.
Ivy, if Véres is in the Seelie and we're back by Fellismore, that means that we're really, really far.
She doesn't respond for a moment. Can I make a survival check to see which way the Seelie is?
Mm-hmm.
That is a 17 plus whatever the fuck. 7. So 24.
So you know that the Seelie is northwest from kind of where you're standing.
Mm-hmm.
which is not quite the opposite of the way you were going, but definitely a different direction.
I think Ivy fully course corrects while standing still, double checks, and then starts walking.
Elara follows, and I think you hear her sniffle every once in a while because she's like silently crying, but she's trying to be like quiet about it. Because I know that time doesn't mean stuff here, but she feels like they lost a lot of time and she doesn't know how much physically further she can go before she collapses. But she follows, and I think she has the vial in her hand. I think she's rubbing it like almost in the way that she would rub her worry stone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like under her breath. She's like, "We're gonna find you. We're gonna find you." And she just keeps walking.
I think Bia has actually fallen asleep on Ivy's shoulders. Like, you could tell she was fighting to stay awake.
Yeah.
But she also went through a very big ordeal today, and she's just sort of fallen asleep.
I think we walk on in this direction that Ivy has now course corrected. Let's get con checks again.
Dirty 20.
Elara got a 21. So they are...
This pisses him off.
Yeah. Our feet are dragging, but we are going to keep moving forward. And I think that, Ivy, you notice it before Elara does because your passive perception is higher. You watch a flash of this vermilion, sparkly color just fly right past your peripheral vision.
I think she stops. And she goes, Elara,
Yeah.
the nanobots go when they find someone, right?
Yeah. And she looks at the vial, which is now empty.
She points at the cloud of vermilion nanobots that are rapidly disappearing.
So Elara starts running.
Ivy does too.
They run. I think the nanobots probably like twist out of sight for a second.
And as these nanobots twist around, they meet their mark. They find the person that they've been sent to find. And Véres, you've just jolted out of this nightmare. And a second after you do, you realize the reason why you woke up is not because the nightmare had ended. It's because you are now being swarmed by vermilion nanobots.
You're healed for 8 points too.
Oh, amazing. I think as he refocuses from the dream, the nightmare that he just had, to see the nanobots, he almost like wants to cry. And I think his eyes do water a little, but not enough to spill over. There's something creeping in at the edge of his mind, a disconnection from reality, and I think a sense of dread threatens to settle in. He can't figure out if that was just a dream or if he actually did just hurt them. I think seeing Elara's nanobots brings the image of Elara and Ivy's lifeless corpses to the front of his mind. And for a moment, he feels ill.
Okay, roll a con save then.
Do you want me to do it at disadvantage?
Yeah, do it at disadvantage because you just kind of woke up.
It's still really good.
What a surprise.
I have good con, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's 21.
Nice.
You're able to hold back the bile that's about to expel from you. You feel lighter in a way. You realize as you take stock of your body and try to tamper down whatever's happening with it, but you don't have time really to figure out what that means as you start hearing boots barreling towards you.
I think that he moves himself up to at least like a kneeling position.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna have a hand out by his side with some vermilion coalescing around his fingers, just in case. He's too tired to run. He can't do that anymore.
I think before you really understand what's happening, Ivy at least has like tackled you to the ground in a hug.
Oh, Jesus.
She breaks through the vermilion nanobots and you just see a flash of blue as she tackles you to the ground in this crushing hug.
Aww.
The vermilion dissipates and he is stunned, laying, I think, probably on his back now.
Yes,
Shocked.
Ivy's on top of him.
Both of his arms out. Like, just like, what the actual fuck? And he looks down, realizes it's Ivy, and he just like wraps her in the biggest hug and buries his head in her.
I think she's like speechless for a moment. And after a second, what does Elara do?
Elara's standing like 15 feet away. If you guys look up, her vial is like she's holding it kind of out and the bots just go back in. and she corks it and puts it on her chest, and then she just kind of like stares.
I think right before Ivy gets up, she goes, "We found you."
I am so glad to see you. And that you're all right. You're all right, right? And he just kind of like puts you at arm's length and looks you over.
She nods and laughs, and I think she stands up and helps him up.
He gladly takes the assistance. Where's Elara?
And she motions to Elara.
He looks over to you, Elara, and the immediate relief he feels is obvious. He looks exhausted and disheveled, but he smiles the moment that he sees you, and he sees that you're okay.
She walks forward. She like looks up, and like her eyes are like welling with tears. And she just goes, "You're alive."
I am.
And she gives you a hug.
Aww.
She does.
He only hesitates a moment. The image from the dream is still kind of fresh, but he pushes that away. And he wraps her up in a warm and gentle hug, kind of holding her really close. I'm so glad you're safe.
Yeah, she gives you a squeeze, and then she like very quickly lets go and like takes a step back. And she looks at Véres, and she looks at Ivy and Bia, and she nods.
And Ivy goes, "All right, let's make camp."
He nods. Absolutely. I'm so glad to see you. All of you.
Bia has awoken in the commotion. And Bia flies over and lands on your head, Véres,
He gives her a little scourge.
and then falls right back asleep.
Aw. You look really hurt.
I think he chuckles a bit and says, I'm a little worse for wear, I won't lie.
Ivy reaches out and she like touches the area where you obviously have been hurt and casts Cure Wounds. And you get back 1d8 plus my spellcasting modifier, which is 8 plus 4.
Nice.
Actually, she's going to cast it at a 3rd level. So 20 points of healing back. And you actually watch as she does this. The wound closes and there's no scar.
He looks down, nods. It's like, unreal, honestly. It's fucking bizarre.
I've healed you before, Véres.
No, there's no...
The wound
Mark?
is gone.
It's gone.
Oh, yeah. Now you know how I felt when I healed myself and there was a scar.
I will say the wound that you cauterized is going to leave a scar.
Mm-hmm.
Only the open wounds are gone.
I imagine there's no luck on wounds I've had to cauterize, though, huh?
Why?
And he just kind of like lifts the bottom of his shirt up and starts like, I'm moving the bandages aside to check. Is there a scar?
Yeah, there's a scar. It's nasty.
He sighs and he leaves it.
She holds her hand up. It's healed, but there's a scar there too.
How is it? Can you move it all right?
Much better.
Good.
We met a really nice cleric who healed me, like, right up.
That's good. I'm glad to hear. I look forward to hearing how you both ended up.
I think that's a story for the morning, or at least 6 to 8 hours from now.
I agree completely.
When you say the morning, Ivy, you look and you see that the sun is starting to, like, come up. Like, crest over.
She flips off the sun.
Fuck you!
She's in the middle of rolling out the second bedroll as she's doing this. She's not pitching a tent. She doesn't fucking care. She's gonna sleep in this forest. And she flips off the sun and continues to roll out the second bedroll.
Is it safe for us to sleep here? I got attacked by a pixie pretty close by.
I think she goes, if any pixies try to fuck with me, they will not survive. And that is a threat. She says, like, just sort of generally. And I'm gonna roll an intimidation check.
Do it.
That is a dirty 20.
I think they're intimidated if they're anywhere nearby. Yes.
Amazing.
Varys nods a little bit. He's like, I thought I was the scary one. It turns out to be you two, so that's great.
So I know we're all usually just clamoring to stay awake and take watch. But we look all really tired. So what's the plan?
I wish one of us was a wizard so bad right now. So someone could cast the alarm spell. I am so fucking tired. I'll stay up. It's fine.
Varys kind of like rubs his chin a bit. So I don't have alarm.
Why would you?
But I might He chuckles.
She's back with the sass immediately.
Says, I can perhaps do something better, though.
Okay.
He walks around and very carefully starts like in a 10-foot radius around them in a circle. Starts like drawing these little symbols in the ground with his blood.
I think Ivy turns to Elara and goes, I think he's lost it.
Elara like crawls over and is like looking, like trying to look at the symbol. Can she make sense of the symbols in the grass in blood?
Make an Arcana check.
Honestly, the blood's not the wildest thing that Ivy's picking up here. It's the fact that he's drawing symbols in the ground with them.
14?
They're runes for like defense.
She crawls over and she like looks at them and she looks at Ivy and then she looks back at Véres and she's like, okay, I know you know about runes and stuff, but you can't just like draw them in the grass with blood. Véres, it doesn't work that way.
He's still drawing them around the circle.
She looks at Ivy.
This man looks deranged,
Yeah,
by the way.
so
He's badly beaten.
Yeah.
Drawing in blood and he's covered in dirt.
I think she like gently, like she very hesitantly and gently like puts a hand on his shoulder. Véres, you're doing a great job. It looks great. I maybe just we'll figure this out tomorrow. Maybe, you know?
I think Ivy comes over and like gently pulls Elara away. Just goes, it's fine. Just let him do it. It's fine.
I don't want
if
him
it
to.
makes him feel better, just let him do it.
It's his blood.
It's there anyways.
Right. Okay. Good job. I feel safer already, honestly.
He stands up and goes to the center of it and looks at you guys, sighs, and snaps his finger, and vermilion mist kind of forms around you in a dome and locks into place. The atmosphere all of a sudden dims around you as if to sleep and becomes comfortable.
Elara's jaw drops.
He coughs and wipes his hands off. It's like, all right, so anyway, good night.
Anyway, good night.
Ivy looks around, just fucking slack-jawed.
There's stars. It's a night sky.
Can I poke it?
Can you poke it?
Mm-hmm. Does it
Yeah.
feel like, is there a barrier?
So you feel like a little bit of resistance at first, and then your finger goes right through it.
Okay, she looks at Ivy as Ivy's looking up and down at the stars.
Ivy looks around, looks at the stars, and I think she goes, and now I think I've lost it.
Véres unrolls his bedroll, lays down, and says, so no one can get in unless I allow it. But we should be safe to sleep here.
This is Liamon's tiny hut, right?
He's smiles a bit, says, you're correct, yes.
I think she nods, and she goes to her own pack and lays down and goes, all right, we're going to talk about this tomorrow.
I had a feeling we should, but...
She nods sleepily and slips into a trance.
Elara's sitting in the middle of the hut, I think. Just like she stares for a few more minutes, just in confusion. And then she crawls over to her bedroll. She just goes, Véres?
Yes, Elara.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, fuck.
What? Oh. Elara doesn't know.
You hear in the silence is him swearing.
Why? What happened?
You're not supposed to thank people in the film. You know, I made it this whole fucking time.
She starts wiggling her hand in the air. She goes, no, it's fine. If you wiggle your hand after someone says it, it goes away. I know from personal experience because I thanked, I don't even know how many times and how many people since I've been here.
You know, it's all right. I think if I'm comfortable with owing anyone, it's you. So
what can I, like, how does this work? She shakes Ivy awake. Ivy!
What?
Véres is in debt to me because he said thank you. What does that mean? I wiggled my hand.
It can literally mean anything. It can mean that you do him a solid, or he has your firstborn child after you give birth to it.
The other way. He thanked me. Look, funny for you to assume that I was the one who said thank you first.
Elara! I'm in no mood to have this argument with you. No, you have his firstborn child. You are going to have his firstborn child.
You're very light breathing.
She shakes Véres awake. Véres, don't worry, I won't take your firstborn child.
He rolls over and looks at you. What?
The debt. I won't take your firstborn child.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, you could always have his firstborn child.
No, I don't want to have it.
He throws a pillow at you, Ivy. Shut up.
She woke me up. I was asleep.
She just wiggles her hand in the air again and turns over. And I think she watches, like, the outside from the inside, you know? Because it's really cool. And then she falls asleep in like 5 minutes, probably. I don't think that she could stay awake if she tried. Honestly.
Yeah, he's out like a light.
Ivy too?
Yeah, immediately.
Amazing. I think that we sleep peacefully despite any fears or preconceived anything. I think that the three and Bia were so exhausted that there's just no choice. Sleep overtakes and that's it. I'd like to say that I think Elara is the first one up. I don't know how everyone feels about that.
Sure.
Well, I mean, technically, Ivy only trances for 4 hours.
That's fair.
But maybe she's just laying still with her eyes closed. She's like, I don't want to fucking get up.
She just doesn't want to.
Yeah.
She's so tired that she actually sleeps.
It's the worst sleep of her life.
Elara just wakes up and is like, so like it's daytime now.
Mm-hmm.
It was starting to be dawn when they were going to bed. So like it's day. But I think she just wakes up and she just is like sitting there and she's like running her hands through the grass that change color. She's like poking the fucking magical box that the magical dome that they're in. And she like keeps like looking at them and like, I don't know how to explain it. It's weird. It's like she wants to tuck them in, but she's not touching anyone. But like she just wants to make sure that like everyone is safe, everyone is comfortable, and she's really happy that they're back together. So I do think that when you guys wake up, that Elara is just like sitting in the bedroll, kind of doing an assortment of those things.
I'd like to add that as Elara is sitting there, looking at this dome that kind of looks like vermilion tinted stained glass, with moving, almost lifelike imagery of the night sky, but it's Elisora's night sky. And I think she'll notice that on the sides of it, there are like little lights flitting around lazily. They're lightning bugs.
Inside of it?
Inside, like on the walls.
Oh, that's cool. Like real ones?
No, magic.
She definitely tries to like catch one before she realizes that they're not real. That's really cool.
Ivy groans as she sits up, makes eye contact with Elara. Good morning, Elara.
Morning.
Surprised to see you awake.
I woke up and just sitting here, keeping watch.
She looks up and at the bubble. She goes, I don't think you really needed to do that, but...
I know. Just in case. Did you see the lightning bugs? And she points to them.
To be honest, I have not been conscious enough to really look, but I do see them.
They're not real.
Okay.
I think they're magic.
Very much so.
Do you feel okay?
I feel tired still. Other than that, I think I'm fine.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I feel very happy that we are all back together. So I think the relief, is good.
She nods. I understand that fully.
I think she's gonna take some of her salve and like ointments out and start like mixing, just like busying herself and mixing some things. And
I think Ivy brushes through her hair and puts it up into a bun, stands and stretches. I think she goes through like this elaborate sort of stretching like she's seen Véres do.
ooh,
Ooh. And he's not awake to see it. Fuck.
No. Mm-mm.
is Véres alive?
Do you want to check?
I think at some point. It like dawns on her that he's usually really up super early. Ivy will see Elara kind of like idea, strikes her, or like thought strikes her brain. She like looks at Véres and like narrows her eyes. And then she like puts the stuff she was working on to the side and she kind of like crawls closer and just looks to see if they're breathing.
Make a medicine check.
Yeah.
I got a 4.
Oh, he's dead.
He's not breathing.
7.
He's not breathing.
He's not breathing. You can't see breath.
Ivy?
Yes.
I don't think Véres is breathing. And she like shakes his shoulder.
If he were dead, the magic wouldn't be here.
The dome falls.
She goes,
Ivy?
She's like, it also only lasts for 8 hours.
Well, time is weird here. So how are we supposed to know how long has gone by?
Wake them up.
Véres!
Or put a mirror up to their nose.
She takes a pocket mirror out of her pocket.
I'm obsessed, guys.
She puts it up to his nose.
It fogs.
I like
She
to
shows
think this
Ivy.
is when Véres wakes up.
Yeah. It's funny because when you go to pull the hand mirror away, he goes, "Oh, what the hell, Laura?"
Good morning. I thought you were dead.
I feel like I might be. And he rolls over.
Well, you may feel like you're dead, but you're alive. So good morning. Welcome back.
Véres sees the tail end of what he knows is his own stretching routine from Ivy as she finishes.
This is amazing.
He looks at her.
She's nods.
I don't know whether to be proud or flattered. Perhaps both.
She shrugs. My body hurts and it seems to help you, so...
It sure does, but not today.
Too sore?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. I feel like I walked for a whole month. Maybe more.
He sits up. His hair's a mess. But he doesn't give a fuck.
He's like Anna from Frozen, sits up and it's like just his bird nest.
He starts combing his hair through his hair. He's gonna put it into a braid again, like usual. Because, yeah, I think I walked forever, fought shit, fell into a bone pit.
A bone pit?
Would Ivy know?
You can make a history check, but it's a really high DC.
16. That's not gonna make it. She just nods.
Fell into a bone pit. Fought a tree, which is weird.
A tree?
Got impaled by said tree. And then yeeted across, a fair distance. Also, met the most handsome man I've ever seen in my life.
Huh.
In the Seelie. Very helpful.
Ivy looks more concerned about that bit than...
Was an adventure, I'll tell you that. But enough about me. What about you two?
Well, that was a lot. You dropped a lot of stuff. I mean, you got stabbed by a tree. You met a very handsome man. You got yeeted through the air.
I did. Over the Seelie line into the Seelie.
What?
Yes.
Oh, so you got like kicked out?
No, I think somebody... What was it they said? Something about not wanting to see me die yet. Anyway. Also, there's really weird, like, darkness cult people over there who are just, like, spreading the darkness.
That sounds about right.
Bizarre.
Honestly, I'll believe anything you tell me about that place.
It was really strange. I did meet, 2 people who I think were alright. Genuinely nice people,
Ivy looks unconvinced.
I wish they had stepped in sooner, but they did not. We fought something, and they helped me. In exchange, they helped me get to a portal, or teleportation station, whatever this, as much as they called it.
No, that is the proper term.
It's so bizarre. And also told me I was going to die several times.
Well, it was the Seelie, so...
Nods. I got also ejected back out of said portal and ended up in the bone pit, so that was weird.
So they didn't help you get out?
No, it was like I hit a wall when I tried to go through.
Yeah, you hit a wall too when we left Elara. So maybe it's the same thing.
They nod. Could be. Also, I'm cursed, so that's great.
Oh.
I'm sorry? Cursed?
So, My first interaction in the Unseelie, before I got yeeted through the portal and fought a creature with those two nice people, semi-nice, I've met a beast that was sort of, or a person, I'm not really sure, to be honest. They sort of cycled through appearances and voices rapidly, like they were never consistent.
That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember the whole conversation, to be honest. A lot has happened, but their fingers sort of dissolved and went into smoke and then down my throat.
Oh,
Ew.
appetizing.
Didn't even buy me dinner first. Rude, honestly. So that was great, and then I learned I was cursed through the two that I met.
Cursed how?
Yeah, what's the curse?
I don't really know. They just said I was going to die soon. Couldn't really give them much more context than that. One of them tried to tell me about the curse, and they started choking.
In what way?
Some sort of mark appeared on the throat. They couldn't talk about it.
Can I roll a history check to see if I know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
21.
So I think that you know that hags can curse people to stop them from speaking about their deeds and like machinations and stuff like that.
Ivy nods slowly, and then she goes, okay. Did you, so, might be wrong, might also be right. I think you were cursed by a hag.
Lovely.
She nods again.
Well, I believe if that's the case, she could have been the one to get me out of the Unseelie.
What, that doesn't make sense, though.
I don't understand it either, but he kind of like takes out the mugwort and chamomile. She's disappeared afterwards, and she told me something about being careful, called me a tulip, and said didn't want to see me wilt anytime soon.
Gross.
Very.
Those herbs are generally for sleep. Mugwort and chamomile together can put you to sleep.
Maybe that's why we slept so well last night.
Maybe.
Well, maybe it's a nice hag who wants to give everybody a good night's sleep. Stranger things have happened.
Could be. The other two are on their way to kill her currently, so maybe not.
I've never heard of a nice hag before, unfortunately.
Well, if you're cursed, then it is our job to get you uncursed.
Well, if your friends kill her, then you're uncursed.
Or
so...
That's true too. So maybe we'll just wait and see, you know? I feel like we could use a few days of rest anyway.
He nods. And it might not even be true. I'm unsure, really. They could have been exaggerating to get my help.
Ivy goes through like a list of like a array of emotions on her face, basically cycling through like, no, I don't think they were being facetious. Yeah, they probably really needed your help. And then sure, yeah, we'll go with this, whatever.
But what about you two? How was your adventures?
Ivy looks at Elara.
After I fell out of the portal, I landed with my feather fall here, pretty much. And then I walked around for like ever. And then I got attacked by some pixies. Well, I didn't get attacked. They tried to attack me, I think. And then I gave them some gold sand and a vial. And then I made it to the gates. And I smooth talked my way through. And then...
Insight check.
Yeah.
It's a 10.
9.
You both beat me. I got a 6.
No way.
She did not smooth talk her way through. She doesn't even believe that she smooth talked her way through. And then I wandered around and I got lost. Even though I could see the castle the whole time, it was really like I couldn't get there. But I met a really nice lady named Sawara who helped me get to the castle. And she told me not to tell people my name, which, by the way, Jennifer Roundbottom, all the way, 100%. It worked every time. She also told me not to thank people, which, you know, we already know I messed that up a lot. And then I got to the gate and, well, there was a guard there who wasn't really very nice. So, well,
Was
I
he
needed
mean to you?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know his name?
No, I didn't ask, his name.
What did he look like?
He was tall with long blonde hair and like full plate armor and like and she makes like a face, like this kind of face.
What color was the crystal on his
I don't know. Oh, you can ask Novik because he was there. But it doesn't matter, honestly, because here's what happened. Before you get even upset or anything.
Too late, but go on.
Well, so he was not very nice, and then I got a little upset, and so when he went to walk away, because I needed to cause a distraction to sneak Norman into the castle, which totally worked, I slid a ball bearing under his foot, and he tripped and he fell.
Véres laughs.
Ivy nods, proud.
And then I got arrested.
Incredible.
Thank you. And then I found Ivy, which was my plan the entire time. My bots found her, and they found you. Norman did a great job, and then we were off to find Bia.
Norman always does a good job.
Oh, and she left Norman and Pearl out, by the way. And I think they go and they just kind of hang out with Bia.
Pearl is gonna run off.
I was gonna say, Pearl, you stay close. This is a dangerous place.
She whines. She's itching to steal.
Mother, it's been so long.
Mother, please.
And Ivy, hey Véres, do you want to know something about Ivy that she's gonna tell you?
Sure.
Ask her who her Aunt Tanya is.
He looks at you, Ivy. He's like, oh.
Now I'm really understanding that it wasn't clear.
Well, wait, don't answer yet. I have a pop quiz,
okay.
Véres. Okay,
All right.
ready? So, did you know? Do you know who Ivy's parents are?
They are a part of the Seelie court, I believe. I don't know what they are
She makes a face at you.
or what their names are.
Okay, fine, fair. Do you know that she is not just a rich lady who lives in an estate, but she is actually a lady?
Her parents are on the council, so I had assumed.
She sighs again. Okay, now guess do you know who her Aunt Tanya is?
I don't like to make assumptions. Who looks at you?
Titania.
The Queen! God!
The God Queen, yes.
The God Queen.
What the fuck, Ivy?
Okay, well, she's not really my aunt. Not by blood or anything. It's just like a term of endearment. She's been with me my whole life. She's always treated me like family. It was the same with Beatrice. She's our Aunt Tanya.
All right, but still.
Right? That's what I said. Well, not exactly that, but you know.
And besides, she kind of like shrugs with one hand up. I honestly thought it was obvious. Have you ever heard of a goddess having like familial relationships?
No, we barely have gods in general, so.
No, Ivy, we don't know anything about gods at all. Actually.
She shrugs with her hand like up. I thought it was obvious.
In what universe would we ever assume that your aunt was a goddess?
Well, if you actually think about it, it starts to make a lot of sense.
It does, but you know.
And you knew more than me, so really, actually, you should have known. You should have put it together.
How so?
Well, you knew she was a lady, and you knew that her parents were on the council, which, how did you know that and I didn't know that? Was it that obvious?
No, we had a discussion, I believe, one morning.
You were sleeping,
Okay,
Yeah, you were asleep.
that's fair.
and it sort of slipped out.
Well, anyway, bow to the lady.
No,
In the presence of royalty.
no.
Véres does a very perfect bow, actually. I'll performance check that, actually. 25 is a perfect bow.
Yeah, it's beautiful, actually. It's still met with a double flip off. Ivy flipped both of you off.
Yeah, so Ivy went to the Queen.
I see. How did that go?
Well, considering I think I was wolfed out,
Oh, so great.
I don't really remember, obviously, but I came to and the room was empty and it was just Aunt Tanya. So I landed in the middle of court.
Oh,
So
Well, you do like to make an entrance.
this is true.
I do.
That's weird though, because you weren't a wolf when you fell through the portal. But I guess you probably had way more than enough time to transform while you were in the portal before you fell out.
It can be pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, I
It
guess.
would have to be, considering, it only took seconds to fall through.
The portal?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of took a long time.
No?
No, it went by in
Portals take like maybe 3 seconds at max.
I'm pretty sure.
It's like a flash of color and then you're there.
Okay. Well, then maybe I went a different way.
Elara, there is no different way. What are you talking about?
Elara, I saw you for like a brief second.
I saw you too. I saw you hit the wall of black and try to get through to me, and I saw us get ripped away from each other. And I saw Bia disappear in a flash. And I saw like an entire ocean of sky and stars. It was really, 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 really like the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't see you, Ivy, though, but I guess it makes sense because you went in a couple of seconds before us. And then I saw this warm kind of like light that was like the sun. And then I saw this like greenish, like gray, smoky color. And then I saw the blackness, which is what stopped you, Véres, from getting to me as I kind of fell away.
Okay, so that's not normal.
Not at all, no.
Oh,
At most, it's like 3 seconds.
And you certainly don't see the stars beyond it.
No.
maybe I like dreamed it, or like I got knocked out for a second, and then like I thought about it, and then I woke up, and I thought it was real or something.
Maybe, but
Ivy's just sort of looking at you, and I think she slowly nods for the 11th time that morning.
Véres is processing it. Are you trying to tell me that you saw the astral sea?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I saw like an ocean of stars.
Elara,
Yeah,
are you sure you can't do magic?
she nods. I've tried.
I think we should visit that sometime if you ever had a desire to. I think you could learn.
Mm-hmm. I wonder, maybe someone
Speaking
here
of,
could teach me. I don't know.
So, on second thought,
maybe learn from a fellow fucking wizard? Maybe?
She pulls out a dagger and she like puts it up to her hand. She's like, "Is it really
oh no
that
no
easy?
no no!
Does it just need my blood?"
He reaches out and he's like takes the dagger gently away from your hand.
Ivy was gonna let you do it because Ivy's wondering the same thing. Does the blood make it more powerful, or should I be doing that?
No, don't do that.
Well, why do you get to do it?
Because there's something weird with my blood.
Sure, yeah, 100%, totally. I believe anything at this point.
We've all had really weird stuff happen to us in the past million days, 2 days, 1.
I was born like that.
Okay, so quick temperature check. So
Temperature check, alright.
the barbarian thing,
Yes.
new?
Less than a year. New.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then before that,
Are you a sorcerer?
It's funny you asked that. I'm not sure what I am, to be honest.
Well, that's okay.
If I had to classify it, I would say I'm closer to a wizard. So, sorry to disappoint Ivy, but it seems I'm your wizard in a tower. And he is very clearly joking.
motherfucker. Okay. No, totally. Again. Sure. Cool. Cool. So are you actually your age, or
Are you like really old?
No.
was your father also a wizard?
My father was a bastard, a cruel man, and a caster of some kind. What type, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. All right. Did he give quests?
To shitty people, perhaps, yes.
Well, my father's family apparently was very shitty, so
Hmm.
glad I got you.
I'm glad I found you guys too. And I'm sorry that I was a caster from you both. But it was not without reason.
Elara shrugs.
I mean, I hid the fact that my aunt is a goddess, so, like, I think we're even on that front. And sort of speaking of hiding things, so since we are going back to Fellismore, don't think I can get away with not going back to Fellismore at this point.
Well, we probably have to go there so we can get back to Elisora, right?
Right, yes.
I would assume so.
Elara, when you were trapezing through Fellismore trying to find the castle,
Mhm.
did you by any chance bring my name up to people?
Yes.
And what was the general consensus?
Well, part of the reason that I did the ball bearing thing was because somebody was not being very nice words about you. Well, one person who actually, Véres, from behind looked like you, the hair and the height and all that. But, well, first of all, he didn't look like you when he turned around, and also he was not as nice as you are. He said something that was, well, it was weird, because at first when he said it, I thought that how did he know like what happened in the forest? But then I think he was talking about something else. So then, I just
What did he say?
he said that you're a murderer. She just kind of like blurts it out.
Well, I mean, we kind of already knew that.
So that's not exactly what he was referring to. I've mentioned Beatrice.
Your friend in the picture?
Yes. So there were only 2 children of the court in a millennia. I was born in case my father Basil died. He is a very clumsy man, and the Queen decided that it would be beneficial for them to produce an heir in case something were to happen to him. And my father always wanted children, so he was gung-ho about it. Aside from the fact that I'm not an artificer, having that idea, Titania asked for the paladins to do the same. She could see that we were on the brink of war, and she wanted them to produce an offspring that would become the perfect weapon. And so Beatrice and I were born around the same time. Beatrice was the daughter of the paladins, and she was a paladin. She was what fate wanted her to be. I was not. I was a failed experiment. But that's all right. My family still loved me. I didn't present as anything. They thought I might never. They just knew that I couldn't do artificery very early on. I break almost anything mechanical I touch. And so, being the only 2 children on the court, and honestly, really the only 2 children in most of Fellismore, we were destined to become friends. And for some reason, Destiny also decided that we would fall in love. And we did. And she was beautiful. She was just everything I wasn't. She was smart and kind and just the sun personified. She was tough and gentle at the same time, and I was just in awe of her constantly. We never spent a day apart, even if it was just in passing, even if I just went and sat and watched her spar and learn and grow. I never went a day without seeing her from the moment we met. And then something changed. She became a little bit more jumpy, trained harder, and I thought maybe that something bigger was coming on the horizon. I mean, at this point we knew that the war was more imminent than we thought. King Nemeth was reaching out farther with the darkness than he ever had before, and it almost seemed sort of desperate, from what I could tell. I sat in on many council meetings, and while Titania doesn't give away everything, you spend enough time with somebody and you can tell when they're scared. And Titania kept me closer, and Beatrice trained harder, and I was desperate to become anything that could help, but I didn't. And then one night, Beatrice came to my window and asked me to come out with her to a place that we'd been so many times before, and we snuck out, and we went to the lake, Elara, the same spot that we were at before.
She nods.
And we went, and Beatrice stood on the edge of the lake, and it looked like she was going to tell me something or ask me something. And part of me thought maybe I don't know. Maybe the romantic part of me wondered that maybe it was going to be marriage or something more. Because I don't know, I was kind of hoping that maybe all that nervous energy was just she had decided that we were going to be together forever. I had already decided that long ago, but, people often change. And I turned away for a moment because I thought I heard something. I thought maybe Titania had realized that we were gone and she was sending some butterflies. But there was nothing there. And then I turned back and she was gone. And the only thing left were bubbles from the water. I ran to the water's edge and I didn't see her. And I don't know how a person who was the strongest person I know, who could outswim anyone, someone who was so athletic, could just slip away. But she did, and no one ever found her. They dredged that lake. They looked as far as they could without crossing into the boundary of the in-between or the unseelie, and she was gone. She was just fucking gone. Later, much later, when I came out of my room and came out of the depressive state that I was in, I was very acutely made aware that the rest of the Seelie thought I had killed her, that I was jealous, and I had killed her. Her parents believe that. Titania knows I didn't. She can see into your soul. She knows I didn't do it, but that doesn't mean that she can stop everybody else from thinking that. And then I presented as a druid. Nothing that could have helped. I have this form that I have to keep hidden because your magic is a part of you. It's an extension of your soul, of your character. And if everybody else knew that I presented as death incarnate, well, I don't think even Titania could stop that. Could stop the retribution. So everybody in Fellismore hates me. And so I became the way I am. I was a summer Eladrin when she died. I woke up winter Eladrin and never have been able to become anything else. And I became cold. And I became a bitch. And I pushed away anyone who I could consider a friend at one point. Novik was her friend. Sparred with her a lot. And I was friendly with Novik at one point, and even Novik believes I did it. I don't think my parents believe that I did it, and I know Titania doesn't believe I did it. But 3 people against an entire kingdom. And I think she looks down at her hands and takes a shuddering breath. I used to be nice at one point. I used to be sweet. But when she took the sun away, there was nothing left but the cold.
I'm sorry. For your loss especially, but also how you were treated. You don't deserve that. And I want you to know, Ivy, that I believe you. I do. And there's nothing anyone could ever tell me in that town, or city, whatever, that would make me change my mind about you.
I think you're the first person to actually say those words to me.
Know that I mean it.
First of all, you are smart and wonderful and talented and beautiful and all of those things that you said that you weren't. From what you've described of Beatrice, she sounds like kind of the best thing, and I don't think that the best thing would love someone who wasn't also the best thing. Even if you're gonna say, that, oh, well, somebody only loves you because, that person is meant for you, well, that's fine. But again, because if she is so wonderful and she loved you, that means that you're wonderful too. So don't forget that,
I think she smiles a bit at that.
And I'm sorry too. And I obviously believe you. I'm sorry that you lost your love. And I'm sorry that people blamed you for it. And I'm sorry I didn't know how to react before when we were at the lake. I didn't understand
No.
what was happening.
That's all right. How could you?
I know, but it must have been so awful to be back there and to see Bia being dragged into the water at the same spot, you know?
That's actually where I first met Bia, was that spot. It was the first time I shifted. I had a fight with my dad, and I was mad. He asked me if I'd gone back to the spot, and I said, fucking of course not. And he said that maybe it would help me, because it had been, God's 50 years since I'd even walked that path. And I stormed out and ran, and something took over me, and I shifted into the wolf for the first time. I was kind of present. It's not like now. I think that's the only time that I've actually been even a little bit present, when I've become the wolf. And she heard something. She heard screaming, basically. And together we went down to the water's edge, and there was Bia drowning. And instead of doing what wolves do and capitalizing on that, she and I pulled Bia from the water. And when I brought Bia back, the irony was not lost on anyone that pseudo-dragons were Beatrice's favorite animal, and purple was her favorite color. So whether it was simply coincidence or Beatrice sent her to me, who's to say? But that was the first time I had gone back down there. Was when I met Bia. And then the second time was with you.
To save her again.
To save her again. Which is also not lost on me in a cosmic scheme. Sometimes it feels like fate has it out for me. Sometimes it feels like I was the one who should have died instead.
I know that you probably wish that were the case.
Not as much anymore.
I'm glad.
And for the record, Elara, I do feel those things when I'm with the two of you.
Good.
As you should. You're incredible.
Elara nods. I'm really glad that we all found each other again.
Me too.
Yes.
Well, thank you for telling us. I know I said before, Véres, before we found you, that we were gonna have a getting to know each other party, because there was so much that we didn't know. But thank you for feeling safe and comfortable enough to tell us.
Well, it's going to be very jarring when we go back, so I figured I would warn you.
So what I'm hearing is don't beat the shit out of them, you know?
No, I wouldn't.
All right.
No. I already hold a very tenuous position with just about everyone in the city, but I have a ringing endorsement from the God Queen. What else do I need?
Are we gonna meet a god?
Oh, most likely, yes. She's going to be very fucking mad that I left. You're most likely going to meet her.
Is she gonna smite us?
No, she's not going to smite you.
She could.
She could. She's not going to.
Well, I guess we should make breakfast and be on our way.
You know, I think that might be a good idea.
I really missed your oatmeal, Elara.
Me too.
Well, you're in luck. Because and she goes into her pocket and starts pulling all of her shit out.
As they stand, Véres kind of snaps his fingers, and very quickly his appearance is righted. There's no dirt, there's no grime, there's no blood. He is perfectly clean and pristine as he was. And he looks at the two of you and says, anybody else would like that?
Ivy holds her arms out.
And he looks to you, snaps his fingers, and again, it's like a whoosh of air. And suddenly you're cleaning.
Elara's just watching, trying to figure out how you did it, you know?
Cool, so we're just going full Tilton on this? No more pussyfooting around?
About what?
Elara snaps her fingers.
The magic?
Oh, that's going to stop when we return to Elisora for good reason, but while we're here...
Fair enough.
I've missed casting so fucking much.
I can understand that.
I wish I could do it. Okay, look, I'm gonna snap my fingers, and when I snap my fingers, you do that, and then, it'll be like I did it.
All right.
Ready?
Ready.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
He does it.
She smiles.
And Laura, I still think Joey's out on whether or not you can do magic.
Oh, I think we could teach you.
There's one thing that I know how to do.
Oh.
Okay.
And it's a real one this time. I swear it's no artificery trickery
All right.
or magic tricks.
Not identify.
No, it's real.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
She waves her hand like in like a whooshing motion, and you watch these 3 green bobs of light, and she casts dancing lights.
He smiles.
So does Ivy.
So you can do magic.
It's the only magic that I can do, and I have always known how to do it. Or at least I don't remember learning how to do it. I probably did at some point.
But you have the aptitude for it. That proves it. So you can learn more.
She closes her fist and they disappear.
It starts off small.
That would be really cool. I think as Elara starts making the oatmeal, she gets like the wood set up, and she looks at Véres and she's like, Véres, can you cast Produce Flame? Wait, don't set it on fire yet.
Véres flips through his spell book. That's been
He's thinking about
ostentatiously resting on his side, and nobody's commented on it.
Does he take his spellbook off of his
Yeah, he
thigh
does.
holster
He
him?
takes it out and he flips through. I have conjure, but not produce.
Can you make these the branches be on fire?
So, you know, I think maybe you should ask Ivy.
Well, I know Ivy can do it. I was going to make you guys have a contest, but it's okay if you can't. You know, Ivy can just do it.
I'm afraid that it might be a little stronger than I meant it to be.
Oh, well then you know what,
So,
Ivy? Will you
please.
do the honors, please?
I don't want to blow it up.
For sure. And you watch as Ivy holds her palm out and a little ball of light pops into her palm and then rolls to the tip of her finger, and she shoots it towards the
Nice.
bundle.
Elara puts the pot on the fire. Véres, how much magic are we talking here?
You know, an illegal amount.
Her eyes go so wider than you've ever seen.
I think the strongest level of magic I've ever produced was tier 7, and I
She gasps.
almost killed myself.
You're illegal.
I am.
So when I asked you both the other day how it felt to be traveling with a criminal who stole a book, and you both laughed at me, it's really making a lot more sense now than it did a few days ago.
Elara,
Ivy laughs.
there's multiple reasons why that's funny to me. But you can clearly tell that I'm not... that I'm a criminal, right? Like, I've
Shakes
got
her
a
head
criminal
no.
past. I know how to pick locks. I can sneak into places. I kill people, which, unfortunate, but true.
Well, now it makes sense. You know, I'm learning a lot today about everyone.
Oh, also, I forged us stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Ivy's just
When
nodding.
you put it that way, it all, you know, when you put it all together, you know, I was just taking every instance as a separate instance, but it makes a lot of sense.
You don't really zoom out to big picture stuff, do you, Elara?
You haven't noticed that I like to hyperfocus?
I've noticed. I guess I'm just confirming.
Mm-hmm. 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 Listen, when I start zooming out to big picture stuff, you two are going to be in so much trouble. I'm going to be so perceptive, and I'm just going to pick up on everything all the time.
You know, on that note, I actually want to apologize to you two for being just a vague asshole, honestly. For lack of a better word.
Why?
I have met people who were like that, and I wanted to kill them.
But you didn't, right?
No, they're alive and well.
See? We're not murderers.
No.
Does Véres make that face?
Véres is like, no. He shakes his head, but his face says, oh my god.
Ivy nods, and she goes, honestly, I was taking it in stride. I don't know if you've noticed, but I see a lot. A lot.
You do.
I did notice.
But you don't always say a lot.
No, I don't.
Elara looks like she's putting puzzle pieces together, but she's not really, but like, and she's like nodding her head and like she's putting everything together right now. Really, she's just making oatmeal. But She wants to be like,
She's putting ingredients together.
yeah, she's in a rain. That's what she's doing.
I think he laughs.
So as Elara is like getting ready to like plate the oatmeal,
Oh,
We
bastards,
hear-
gonna take them away from food.
No,
He won't
we
fist
hear-
fight them,
not
please.
the
Don't do that to them.
oatmeal.
we hear
No.
the clinky clanky. You're sitting there, you got your bowls out, there's like
Wall
cinnamon
of force.
and honey in the air, and you hear footsteps and like the clanking of metal coming
As
your
soon
way.
as Ivy hears that, she starts scarfing it down.
Yeah, same with Véres.
Elara jumps when she hears it, and I think like whips around.
There's
Elara's having a PTSD flashback of like getting kidnapped, and Ivy and Véres are like, no, she's not having a flashback, but she definitely jumps when she hears the noise and like kind of like braces for like whatever's coming, you know?
Oh no.
Bia's also scarfing down her bowl, by the way.
Yeah, she looks at the three of you and she's like, how am I the only one who hears this, you know?
No, I hear it.
No, I hear it. We're going to be forced to go back to the castle much sooner than we thought. Eat your lunch.
Oh, and she starts eating, and as the three of them are like scavengers, like I feel like they're sitting back on their haunches, just like
Hunched over.
Laura's like, is it good at least?
It's amazing.
You see come out of like some of the trees and out of the brush, a total of 7 soldiers.
Oh Jesus fuck.
2 of which, Ivy, you recognize immediately as Lysandra and Xandros, the paladins and Beatrice's parents.
She clocks them, and you just hear her go, oh, fuck, as she continues to eat.
Véres stands up.
She doesn't.
She just keeps eating.
She just keeps eating, yeah.
And they look very stern and serious, and I think Lysandra steps forward, and she's got like her helmet tucked under her, kind of held under her arm. Her eyes go from like Véres to Elara to Bia, Pearl, and Norman, and then to Ivy. And she looks down on you, Ivy, and she looks unamused, unhappy, kind of like almost a look of disgust on her face. And she just looks at you and she goes, "Get up now."
She does. She finishes her last bite of oatmeal and sets it on the log that she was sitting on and just looks at her.
Did you have fun?
No.
Good. Let's go.
Can I pack up first, or?
Make it quick, yeah.
She goes and rolls up her bedroll and helps Elara funnel the rest of it
Yeah.
into a to-go bag.
She's like, "It's fine, we'll wash these later."
Véres just prestidigitations it.
Thank. She's like, "I wish we had that such a long time ago."
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It'll help with my cataloging. You know, I just cataloged everything. Should I say hi to them or do we just walk?
You can if you want.
Elara like goes to open her mouth and Lysandra's like, "I said let's go now." Alara's like, "Okay." And she looks at Ivy like, "Promise that this is okay?
It's fine.
They're not gonna hurt us?"
No, they're not going to hurt us. Unless you swing on them first, and then they will. But, you know,
Well, we're not doing that, right, everyone?
we're not doing that.
She looks at Véres.
No, we're very much not doing that, because they would kick our asses.
Okay.
I'm alright, thanks. I'm not going to do that. Looks at you, Elara.
Okay.
And no ball bearings, Elara.
Noted. Unless I can be stealthy about it, you know?
No.
That's the whole thing. If they don't know where it comes from. And she shrugs.
Ivy clips the leash to Bia and puts her on her shoulder and just sort of looks.
So I think as we start walking, Lysandra, Xandros will kind of take up the front, and then the others will kind of walk in like a weird circle around us as if like we're flight risks, you know?
Yeah.
Ivy, why does this feel worse than when I was getting arrested the first time?
It is. Ivy thinks about it for a moment. She's really... I think she's in a feisty mood right now. And she goes, so because they didn't introduce themselves, that's Lysandra and Xandros sword fae. They are the paladins on the court.
Oh.
And the rest of the band of merry people behind me and us and around us are also paladins.
Lovely.
So Titonia must have been big mad to send them out to me. I bet they loved having that duty, huh?
You hear Xandros say, almost as much as I enjoy silence, Ivy.
Well, he's in for a rude awakening with me then.
Listen, I can never shut up either, so they're used to it by now. Couldn't before, couldn't now.
And I think we'll walk
Mm-hmm.
in semi-silence back towards Fellismore.
Thanks so much for listening. We are grateful for the love and support.
If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us too. A like, subscribe, or share goes a long way for small creators like us.
If you want more Tales of 3, head over to our Patreon, where we have a ton of free bloopers and episode extras, as well as some paid tiers with even more perks.
Speaking of, huge shout out to our Green Fiend Patreon supporter, Michael.
Also, if you join the Red Rogues for $5 a month, you'll get access to RDCC, an after show where we deep dive into character motivations, player reactions, and give a glimpse at our creative process.
And with that, our story pauses here for today. Join us next time as we continue our adventures, and remember, it's never too late to start your own.
Bye!
Give me a show.
Excuse
Dance
you?
monkey
I'm excited.
stance.
No, I'm excited. I'm eating dinner, and it's a show.
Fair enough. Should be Lupper, but same thing. Because supper's earlier than dinner. We're gonna pan to. We're gonna pan to.
Did you spit? I heard distinct liquid, like. You guys better get the fucking saddies in. So I don't know what.
Do you remember when I asked you to make me a compilation of all the times I stuttered so I could show it to a doctor? I never showed it to a doctor.
I did it too.
I know you did. I remember going, "Oh, that's wild. I should get this checked out." Never did.
Oh my God.
But I think that was when I had pneumonia, so I'm not too worried about it.
I stutter way more than you, by the way. Just FYI. I stutter so much, it's wild. I've just accepted it.
That's what I've done too. Because then we get rumpa-pum-pum.
I love you guys.
I love you too. I'm muting again.
But you're
Beyblade,
able.
God.
Do you not know what a Beyblade is?
I do, but Véres is not.
Well, Véres isn't hearing this.
Okay.
There's not a voice narrating in Véres' head, and he has to go, "What's a fucking Beyblade?"
Sorry, continue.
You're good. So under your feet.
Sorry, 17.
Oh, great. Now you can see into the vortex. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
You see the other campaign that Elara and Ivy have gone into.
I'd step into it too.
Yeah.
Where you fuckers been?
Oh, you're putting on chapstick. I thought you were just shaking your head. I thought you were just like, fuck, no, that's not where we're going. Fuck this bitch.
No, it's just me being a weirdo putting on chapstick. Not the way that everybody else does, apparently.
14. What do you guys think? Would that be enough to tell that he's actually legitimately drawing something for a spell?
I think so.
Oh,
okay.
If they're arcane runes, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know if you know this, but Elara loves arcane runes.
Yeah, she does.
She crawls. God.
And
does Ivy know about this?
Oh my
Story Jack.
You can talk. You don't have to whisper.
I'm gonna keep that. Finally.
23.
You guys.
No, sorry. 21.
We don't need to whisper.
This is the ASMR episode.
It's unnecessary.
21.
It's really obscure knowledge. Do you know that Ivy? My Chevy Impala's here, you guys. We're everything's taken
Oh, good.
care
We
of.
don't need to walk.
No,
Tell
it's
us
over
more.
now.
Great. What the fuck, Ivy? That's where I lost my accent.